Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're taking a deep dive into this whole secret sprawl thing. If
Mhm.
you're getting ready for a security audit or trying to really lock down your organization's security, or even if you're just curious about this growing cybersecurity challenge, you're definitely in the right place.
It really is fascinating how much the IT landscape has changed, even just in the past few years.
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, we're all using cloud services now, complex CI/CD pipelines, just this whole constellation of SaaS
You're
products.
right, right.
And while that's great for speed and flexibility, it does create a real fragmentation in how we manage sensitive data.
Yeah, so instead of having everything kind of neatly locked up in one place, you have these crucial bits of information, your API keys, password certificates are just scattered everywhere.
Precisely. And that scattering, that's what we call secret sprawl. You can think of it like this. Imagine your application code as a blueprint, and those secrets are the keys to unlock specific doors within that blueprint. Now, instead of keeping those keys on a secure keyring, they're taped to the blueprint itself, tucked into random drawers, maybe even left out on the table. Anyone who stumbles across the blueprint, even if they're not supposed to be there, has access to those keys.
Okay, that's a much clearer picture than just thinking about, like clutter under a rug or something. So how does this happen? It's not like anyone wants to make their systems vulnerable, right?
Right, and it's often not malicious intent, but a combination of factors. Think about the pressure developers are under to push out new features quickly. That fast-paced environment, often driven by agile principles, can lead to prioritizing speed over meticulously documenting and securing every single secret.
Yeah, I can definitely see how that happens, especially when you're juggling multiple projects and deadlines.
Yeah. Exactly. And then there's the sheer complexity of modern IT systems.
Mhm.
You might have secrets stored in environment variables within a cloud platform, hard-coded within a script running on a CI/CD server, and even embedded in configuration files for various SaaS applications. Keeping track of all of that manually is practically impossible.
So we have this perfect storm of pressure for speed, complex systems, and maybe even some overlooked security practices.
Yeah.
That's where things start to get really risky, right?
Absolutely. Because here's the core problem. Security teams are often flying blind. They don't have a clear picture of where all these secrets are hiding, how they're being used, or who has access to them. That lack of visibility creates a massive attack surface.
And I imagine attackers are very well aware of this vulnerability.
Oh, absolutely. They're constantly scanning for exposed secrets, and unfortunately, they often find them. These days, a leaked API key or an exposed database credential can be more valuable than a stolen credit card number.
So it's not just about theoretical risks. This is a real and present danger for organizations of all sizes.
That's the reality we live in now. And it's why shifting from a reactive to a proactive security posture is absolutely crucial. Instead of waiting for a breach to happen and then scrambling to clean up the mess, we need to prevent those secrets from being exposed in the first place. And that's where StoneFly really shines.
Okay, so let's dive into that. How does StoneFly as a solutions company approach this challenge?
Well, StoneFly advocates for a multifaceted approach. It starts with understanding that secrets management isn't just a technical issue, it's a cultural one. You need to foster collaboration between security and development teams, break down those silos, and create a shared understanding of the risks and best practices.
So it's about building a culture of security, not just implementing a set of tools.
Exactly. Security needs to be baked into the development process from the very beginning, not treated as an afterthought. And StoneFly provides the tools and expertise to make that happen.
Can you give us some specific examples of what those tools look like in practice?
Absolutely. One key area where StoneFly shines is in proactive secret discovery. Instead of waiting for a security breach or relying on scheduled scans, StoneFly offers solutions that continuously monitor your environment for exposed secrets. Think of it like having an army of vigilant robots constantly patrolling your systems, looking for any signs of trouble.
So they're proactively hunting for those misplaced keys before an attacker can find them.
That's the idea. And these solutions aren't just limited to your code repositories. They can also scan your cloud environments, CI/CD pipelines, and even your container images.
That's incredibly comprehensive. What happens if one of these robot guards actually finds an exposed secret? What are the next steps?
That's where remediation comes in. And StoneFly has a well-defined framework for handling these situations. It's not just about covering up the problem, it's about fixing the underlying vulnerability and preventing it from happening again.
Okay, so let's break that down. What does that remediation process look like?
Well, StoneFly breaks it down into 5 key tasks. First, you need to assess the potential damage caused by the exposed secret. Is it a low-risk situation, or could it potentially lead to a major breach? StoneFly's tools can help you quickly evaluate the severity.
So step one is understanding the scope of the problem. What's next?
Step 2 is revocation. You need to immediately deactivate that exposed secret to prevent any further unauthorized access. It's like cutting off access to a compromised credit card. You want to stop the bleeding as quickly as possible.
Got it. Contain the damage. What's step three?
Step 3 is rotation. You need to generate a new secure secret and implement it across all relevant systems. Think of it like changing the locks on your house after you've lost your keys. StoneFly solutions can automate this process, making it quick and efficient.
So you're essentially creating a new key and making sure all the old ones are invalidated. What are the final two steps?
Step 4 is deletion. You need to remove that exposed secret from all locations, code repositories, configuration files, logs, anywhere it might be lurking. StoneFly helps ensure this deletion is complete and secure.
Okay, so it's not just about hiding it, it's about completely erasing it from existence.
Yeah.
And the final step.
The final step, and this is crucial, is tracking. You need to maintain detailed logs of all the actions taken to remediate the secret, who accessed it, when it was revoked, when it was rotated, the whole 9 yards. This audit trail is essential for accountability and transparency.
So it's like having a security camera that records everything that happens related to that secret. That's incredibly thorough.
It is, and it's a core part of StoneFly's philosophy.
Yeah.
You can't manage what you can't see, and you can't learn from mistakes if you don't have a record of what happened.
This has been really insightful. We've gone from understanding what secret sprawl is to how to proactively prevent it and what to do if those secrets do get exposed.
It's all about building a robust security posture, and StoneFly can help organizations every step of the way.
This is fantastic information for anyone concerned about cybersecurity. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll dive even deeper into the practicalities of implementing these solutions. Stay with us. Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about StoneFly's proactive approach to secret sprawl and their 5-step remediation framework. I'm curious about those remediation steps. Can you give us a concrete example of how those would play out in a real-world scenario?
Absolutely. Let's say you have a development team working on a new feature that requires access to a database. They need to create a connection string, which includes a username, a password, and potentially other sensitive details. Now, in a rush to get things up and running, they might hard code this connection string directly into their application code, maybe even push it to a public code repository.
Okay, I can see how that could easily happen in a fast-paced environment. So that's the secret sprawl part. That sensitive data is now out in the open, potentially visible to anyone who has access to the repository.
Exactly, and this is where StoneFly's secret detection tools come in. Let's say this organization has StoneFly's solutions integrated into their development workflow. As soon as that code is pushed to the repository, StoneFly's automated scanners would flag that hard-coded connection string as a potential security risk.
So it's like having a security guard looking over the developer's shoulders, making sure they're not leaving any sensitive information exposed.
That's a great analogy, and this is where the remediation process kicks in. StoneFly would immediately alert the security team, providing them with detailed information about the exposed secret, where it's located, who committed the code, and what the potential risks are.
Okay, so that's the assess step, understanding the severity of the situation. What happens next?
The next step is revoke. StoneFly can automatically invalidate that exposed connection string, essentially rendering it useless. This prevents anyone from using it to gain unauthorized access to the database.
So it's like hitting the cancel button on that exposed secret before any damage can be done. What about the original code? It still contains that hard-coded string, right?
Right, and that's where the rotate step comes in. The security team, working with the developers, would generate a new, secure connection string. This new string could be stored in a dedicated secrets vault, which is a secure, centralized repository managed by StoneFly.
So instead of having that sensitive information embedded in the code, it's now stored in a secure vault, only accessible to authorized users and applications.
Exactly. And the application code would be updated to retrieve this connection string from the vault at runtime rather than having it hard-coded.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So the exposed secret has been revoked, a new one has been generated and securely stored, and the code has been updated. What are the last two steps?
The next step is delete. StoneFly helps ensure that the original exposed secret is completely removed from all locations, the code repository, any logs, backups, anywhere it might still exist. This is crucial to prevent someone from finding it later and exploiting it.
So it's not just about hiding the secret, it's about completely erasing it from the digital landscape.
Precisely. And the final step is track. StoneFly keeps detailed logs of everything that happened during this remediation process, when the secret was detected, who revoked it, when it was rotated, who deleted it, and so on. This creates a comprehensive audit trail for accountability and compliance purposes.
So it's like having a security camera that records every action related to that secret from the moment it was exposed to the moment it was completely erased.
That's a great way to put it, and this detailed tracking is essential not just for understanding what happened, but also for learning from the incident and improving security practices going forward.
It sounds like StoneFly solutions really streamline this entire process, making it much easier for organizations to manage their secrets effectively.
That's the goal. StoneFly takes a holistic approach to security, providing the tools, the expertise, and the guidance to help organizations build a robust security posture that can adapt to the ever-changing threat landscape.
This has been incredibly insightful. It's clear that secret sprawl is a serious issue, but it's also clear that there are solutions available to address it. And speaking of solutions, we're going to talk more about how StoneFly can help after a quick break.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to the show. We've been deep diving into secret sprawl and how StoneFly's solutions can help organizations get a handle on this growing challenge. But I'm curious about the bigger picture. What trends are you seeing in the cybersecurity landscape that might impact how we think about secrets management going forward?
That's a great question, and it's something we here at StoneFly are constantly thinking about. One major trend that's already having a significant impact is the rise of automation. We're seeing this across the board in security, but it's particularly relevant to secrets management.
When you say automation in this context, what exactly do you mean?
Well, it's about leveraging technology to streamline and enhance security processes. Think about those 5 steps of remediation we discussed earlier. Assess, revoke, rotate, delete, track. Each of those steps can be partially or even fully automated with the right tools in place.
So instead of relying on manual processes, which are prone to error and can be slow, you're letting technology do the heavy lifting.
Exactly. For example, StoneFly offers solutions that can automatically scan code repositories for hard-coded secrets, cloud environments for misconfigured permissions, and even network traffic for suspicious patterns that might indicate a secret is being exfiltrated.
Wow, that sounds incredibly efficient. But wouldn't automating these tasks also increase the risk of something going wrong? What if the automation itself introduces a new vulnerability?
That's a valid concern, and it's something StoneFly takes very seriously. When we talk about automation and security, it's not about blindly handing over the reins to machines. It's about building intelligent systems that can augment human capabilities, not replace them.
So it's more about collaboration between humans and technology.
Precisely, the goal is to free up security teams from tedious, repetitive tasks so they can focus on higher-level strategic thinking, threat hunting, and incident response. Automation can handle the routine checks and balances, while humans provide the context, intuition, and decision-making that machines can't replicate.
That makes a lot of sense. Are there any other major trends that you think will impact the future of secrets management?
Another key trend is the shift towards zero-trust security. This is a philosophy that assumes no user or device can be trusted by default, even those within your own network.
So it's about moving away from the traditional castle and moat approach to security, where you focus on building strong perimeter defenses and assume everything inside the castle is safe.
Exactly. In a zero-trust world, every access request, whether it's coming from inside or outside the network, needs to be verified and authenticated. And this has significant implications for secrets management.
How so?
Well, in a zero-trust environment, secrets need to be protected even from authorized users and applications. Access should be granted on a need-to-know basis, and every access attempt should be logged and monitored.
So even if a developer has legitimate access to a particular secret, their access should be limited to the specific time and context when they need it.
That's right, and StoneFly's solutions are designed with the zero-trust philosophy in mind. They provide granular access controls, detailed audit logs, and other features that enable organizations to implement a zero-trust approach to secrets management.
This is really fascinating stuff. It sounds like the future of secrets management is all about automation, zero trust, and a more proactive approach to security overall.
That's a great summary. And StoneFly is committed to being at the forefront of these trends, providing organizations with the tools and expertise they need to stay ahead of the curve.
It's been an incredibly insightful conversation. Before we wrap up, I want to remind our listeners about our sponsor for today's deep dive, StoneFly. If you're looking to implement a robust, proactive approach to secrets management, StoneFly has the solutions and expertise to help you succeed. You can learn more about StoneFly's offerings by visiting their website at www.stonefly.com or contacting their sales team at sales@stonefly.com. They're ready to help you build a more secure and resilient future for your organization. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Secret Sprawl. We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration of the world of cybersecurity. Stay curious and stay secure.